Hey Celtophiles! Today's tune is Perfect by Ed Sheeran. As always, huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you're not subscribed to my Patreon, the PDF of this sheet music is available on my Patreon along with tons of other cool stuff like sheet music for the Rocky Road to Dublin, like a bunch of tutorials. I'm putting a bunch of rhythm and sight reading exercises up there right now too. I'm a full-time bagpipe teacher, private teacher, as well as with the Montreal Piping and Drumming School, so I put some of my materials that I use for my students on my Patreon. Tons of cool stuff on there. But this tutorial is made free for everybody because huge thanks to Ken for commissioning this tutorial. So super appreciated. Thank you. And just to say before I dive into the playthrough of the whole thing, this is the version that's played by YouTuber Fredolin Feinbein. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So let's get started with a couple little warm-ups of some of the trickier spots in this tune. I've taken out the heavier embellishments, I've taken out the grips, the doublings, it's just single grace notes. And looking at the middle of bar 8, we'll do a warm-up starting with the C, G grace note to E. So that's C and the G grace note to E, you're lifting both the left hand index and ring finger. It's not a true high G, you're not lifting the middle finger too. You keep that down and then you just close the index finger to E, as well as the right hand obviously. So we'll do 5 times through that. As always, if you need more practice, pause the video, practice it some on your own. Here we go, 5 times. Then 5 more times a little faster. Jumping to bar 40, that spot's a little bit tricky, so I'll use that as a warm-up as well. We've got 4 E's in a row, so to split those up, we're alternating between G grace notes and an E hit. So that goes E, G grace note, hit, G grace note. Again, 4 more times. Same thing, now a little faster, 5 more times. At this point, it's a good idea to practice a little bit bigger section and work those tricky spots into the tune, because it's one thing to do a very technical, difficult snippet on its own. It's another thing to do it when you're coming from other notes and you have other things to think about, right? So it would be a good idea to pause the video and do what I call backwards practicing, starting from 1 bar before that, and then starting from 1 bar before that, building it up gradually, always leading up to that technical spot. Moving on to the playthrough of the whole thing. So I've slowed it down a little bit. This is at 60 beats per minute. I'll count to 3 to lead us in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy practicing.